it comes to introing this podcast, I think it's time to set a precedent, because it's Precedence Day.
It's Precedence Day.
And the precedent is really solid intros, no wavering, no waffling, no uncertainty.
No waffling, no pancaking, no craping.
No craping. Get out of the bushes, Lorenzo. No craping.
No craping.
Welcome to How Do We
Craper,
Human.
no craping.
Welcome to How Do We Human. It's the podcast.
Solid intro.
Solid as a rock, and that's the precedent going forward for Precedence Day, meaning it's over tomorrow.
Solid as Barack.
Solid as Barack. I'm Evan Cox. Welcome to How Do We Human. It's the podcast where we overanalyze all of the weird and uncomfortable, sometimes uncomfortable, let's be honest, moments in life.
You guys, let's own it.
I'm setting a precedent. I am one of your hosts, Evan Cox.
I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
Hey, today is President's Day. I read that wrong. I think we did do a President's Day episode before, maybe about voting. Was that when no, that was voting. Who knows? Maybe we've never done
We have not done
a
President's Day episode.
This is our President's Day Extravaganza.
Yeah.
And we're here to talk history of 50 series.
Herstory.
Ooh. Should we change the episode to Herstory?
I don't have enough notes for it.
I don't have any notes. Before we make his before
we make his and hers and their story.
Before this episode about history becomes history, I want to know about your history. Your story.
Yes.
Your story.
I understand.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. There are three different things that I want to bring to the table here.
Great.
Now, number one,
what is this,
I
Thanksgiving?
don't think I can talk about because I haven't figured out how to make it vague enough about my workplace. But it's a work-related problem, so maybe next episode I'll save it for
rats
then.
got loose again.
That's right. And I have the second thing is like an ongoing problem that's a very short little story. But my laptop has like stopped going to sleep and is still just like running when I close it, which is super annoying.
Yeah.
When I, open it back up to do some more work, I got to repower it. I got to reset the date and the time because my laptop's like, I don't know where I am. And I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. But that's the main annoyance in my life. But that's such a short little thing that I want to kick things to you, Evan, with a little question before we get into how you doing, because
this is unprecedented.
You've moved out of Los Angeles.
Correct, Your Honor.
And my question, I was thinking about this just the other day when I went to a different grocery store than I normally go to because it's closer to my workplace. I went after work, and I want to know if in the area that you live, are your grocery stores and your Targets or places like that, do they have their merchandise locked up like they do in LA County, or is it just freewheeling on those shelves?
It's mostly freewheeling, and it rules. It's just the huge shit. Going to Stater Brothers, they'll have a locked case like behind the checkouts, which is just like razors, cigarettes, the stuff you don't want the kids to get. If you get a kid running around the store smoking a cigarette and chasing people with razors, you're done. You don't get a second chance.
The store's closed permanently.
So yeah, it is, unless I'm forgetting something. Your assumption is correct, and it's lovely. It rules.
I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
And very happy to ask you this next question.
Oh boy, here we go.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. As of today, it is Precedence Day. But not spoilers. That's not the day we're recording. We're a couple of days past old Sweetie Day, old
Yes.
Candy Hearts, and Hold Your Farts Day.
Uh-huh.
Valentine's Day, thou art loosed. and, I took my sweetie out to a nice restaurant out here on the mountains. We had ourselves a nice meal. I had a little extra money, which is rare. But I was like,
You were
let's
like, I
fucking go
can't hang
crazy.
on to this. I have to spend it.
The older I get, because I've always been very frugal, especially when it comes to food. And the older I get, the more I realize, I can't afford to do it all the time. But man, at least once per year, maybe twice per year, Valentine's Day, an anniversary. It's awesome to just go to a nice restaurant and just kind of like how I go into Vegas and just go I'm setting aside $300. If we spend it, we spend it. Let's go crazy and just order everything we want. That was fucking great. Stone Creek Bistro, shout out in Blue Jay. But so we go into this little place, and they got the special, you know.
Mm.
The special of the day. And this place does seem to be very all their food is very fresh. So their menu changes every day based on what's available, what kind of meat they were able to get. And today, the special.
When they were out scavenging.
Yeah. The special was scallops. I love me some scallops. These are pan-seared scallops on a bed of risotto. This is my jam. They said, this is the special, but no. There's only a couple left. We're running out of scallops, and then the special's going to be gone for the day. I'm like, oh boy. I sure hope I can order these scallops. And by the time the waiter came over, I did order those scallops. And I was like, whew. Whew. And she was even like, the only way I'm going to know is if I enter it into this thing, and then it tells me nope, we're out of them. Or I can run back and ask the chef, but he's busy. So she punches it in. Green, baby. Order.
Nice.
I got my scallops. Great. They come. They're so fucking good. They're perfect. Crispy on the top and the bottom, like butter in the middle. A little bit of lemon drizzle in there. So fucking good. And then this older couple sits next to us. And they're going, as soon as they sit down, the waitstaff comes over with a washcloth and wipes the special off the board.
Nice.
And they told me, you got the last one. I was like, oh.
And we're going to tell every guest in the restaurant that orders it, hey, that guy took the last scallops.
They would never do anything like that. That is a job for me, who has had maybe 3/4 of one glass of wine and a bunch of scallops, and he's feeling good. And the elderly couple next to us is like, where's the special? They weren't that old. But where'd the special go? What is the special? Oh, no. And I had to be like, sorry, I got the last one. And they were like, oh, what was it? And I said, scallops. And she was like, I love scallops. And I realized I'd overplayed my hand in being like, hey, we're all having fun here. I'm like, oh no. I think they're about to spend a decent amount of money, and I made them sad. They're not going to order what they wanted to order. But it was otherwise a good experience. I just, as I tend to do, got in my own way and ruined things for myself and other people.
Yeah, I mean, that is, I want to say that's what Valentine's Day is all about, but that might not be true.
Valentine's Day is about focusing on my sweetie and my sweetie alone, and everyone else can get the fuck out.
Focusing on my sweetie and my sweetie alone in a story in which your sweetie is not featured at all.
Interesting. We'll take that into
Oh, scallops are your
consideration.
sweetie?
Yeah, scallops are. Hey, praise is your kisses. Scallops or kisses are your praise. Scallops are my sweeties. This is what you learn about
Congratulations
us.
on the happy couple, Evan and Scallops.
There's also a bed of asparagus there. Just in case anyone's wondering, I didn't get my veggies. I did.
Wow.
I did. But now those scallops are, and that's where I do have, and where I have been frugal in the past, is because with food, you spend all that money, and then it's recent history. And you go like,
Wow.
was it
Look
worth
at you
it?
scalloping on over to our main topic.
I want to see a horse scallop. Ew. Maybe I don't. Might be tough.
What does President's Day mean to you, Evan?
Absolutely nothing. It means a day
Right?
off of work, and I get a day off of work, so that's lovely. Yeah, President's Day is one of those because okay, I'm gonna say something shitty, but it's like and I'm not gonna get specific. There are holidays that come through that give me the day off of work, but otherwise aren't about me, don't have any relevance to me. But there's that extra like ooh, it is Memorial Day. I should stop and think about dead people for a while, etc. The veterans on Veterans Day. President's Day, I don't know. I've never been given a reason that I should be somber. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, to me, it's literally just a day off of work. I don't even really know. Like, are we just honoring past presidents?
Great question.
I do not
So
know.
I I just looked it up.
I hoped you were.
Um and according to the first thing that comes up here, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, so this
Oh,
could be incorrect information, but
fake
what
news.
Google has provided me with is a little excerpt from History of President's Day from Library Guides,
Okay.
which sounds like be pretty reliable. However, full disclosure,
Yes.
Library Guides has shortened their name to Lib Guides, which I don't know how many people
Yeah.
hear that and then skip right past. I don't know. But anyway, this says in 1862, Lincoln issued a proclamation declaring February 22nd a day of celebration honoring Washington. And then that federal holiday on February 22nd was officially passed into law in 1879.
Wow.
So it sounds like it was, one president being like, hey, let's give it up for old Georgie boy.
Georgie boy.
And,
Hey there,
then I'm
Georgie boy.
sure either presidents after Lincoln or maybe somebody who was president was like, actually, I think it should be for all of us.
All presidents
Um,
matter.
all presidents matter. Um, that's yeah. I mean, I don't know when it became less about just Washington and more about all of them. What I find most strange about President's Day are President's Day sales.
Yeah.
That's such a bizarre thing, especially being as close to like Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
where like, okay, sure, you're gonna have stuff on sale because people
Because
want to
people love
buy
each other.
something for their yeah, exactly. Um but then to like immediately after be like, also President's Day sale.
Just don't
George
forget.
Washington wants you to buy a mattress.
Mm-hmm.
It's bizarre. Like I don't understand
It's odd.
how
It's
that
kind
became
of
part of it.
similar to just getting. I mean, I understand any federal holiday you should get the day off of work, but like similar. vibe of like, I don't really know why I should get the day off of work, and I'm certainly not spending it remembering George Washington. But maybe I will this year. I'll get ready. It is
Yeah,
interesting that you say that, because I was going to say I've always thought it was related to Washington and Lincoln, because I know we also
right.
celebrate Washington's birthday and Lincoln's birthday. So maybe in the back of my mind I did know that. That is interesting. I don't care, but I'll take the day off of work. Congratulations, George Washington. You made it on the dollar.
I yeah, oh maybe is that why there are sales, cuz they want you to spend
Mm,
the money that has the president's faces on it? Could
is
be
the proliferation
good a reason as any.
from debit to touchless payments, Apple Pay and stuff, have we gotten presidents out of our money? And is this okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I think every debit or credit card that's issued, um it should be mandatory that it comes with a president's face on
I
it.
think I use Apple Pay at the store. Ulysses S. Grant should pop up and be, "You sure about that?" Well,
um
it's a thought, because clearly
yeah.
that was such an important thing, is having faces on these bills, and every other, like the European countries, Canada, they all do it.
Yeah, I think and I want to, reiterate that there is one former president who keeps trying to put his face on money and or debit cards. As I learned in a recent Daily
Yeah,
Show clip that your president Evan has tried to sell debit cards to his voters with his name and maybe his face on it.
it's
And
very
then,
funny.
people that bought them tried to use them and there was no money. They
Yeah.
didn't, they got scammed. But
Shocker.
anyways, I know. But yeah, what you were saying earlier about not knowing or um, feeling strange that you didn't know like well, I don't know, what is President's Day, why do we have it, I think kind of segues nicely into um my general feelings about history, where like I really don't feel like I know a lot about history.
Yeah.
Like I know the basics, but like on Jeopardy, for example, when there's a history category, I'm like, I'm gonna sit this one out. I
Yeah.
don't think I know any of this.
It's funny, we were just talking about Jeopardy before recording, but I mentioned I have been watching Celebrity Jeopardy, which I've never like watched straight through. Which, no spoilies, we're not caught up on this season, but like it makes me feel like a fucking genius. Because
Yeah.
Jeopardy can be so hard. Celebrity Jeopardy, I'm pretty fucking good at it.
Celebrity Jeopardy, Teen Jeopardy.
Yeah, but Celebrity Jeopardy, I'm
That's
like,
my
these
wheelhouse.
are adults,
Sure.
so it's a little harder.
Yeah. But they're
uh,
playing for charity, of course, so the questions are a little easier, so the charities come out looking
they
at a
need
bigger
to
payday.
mix these up like a Family Feud-esque Jeopardy round, celebs versus teens.
Okay.
I think teens would be smarter across the board.
I think you're right.
Bold take. Anyways, we've been watching Jeopardy. I feel like I'm doing pretty good at it. I'm not keeping score or anything. I hope someone is, though. And I hope it's my sweetie. Scallops.
The
But
only thing Evan's keeping track of is how many scallops he's
and
eating.
we talked about maybe we're doing this a little bit later in the episode. I don't know, but we went all the way through the president's quiz. I've done that president's quiz a billion times, but it
Yeah,
still came up with a question as simple as, like, with Celebrity Jeopardy, it's a lot of like accoutrement, a lot of details you don't
sure.
need that are hard, followed by like one hint that's stupidly easy.
Yes.
And this time that was just like, this third US president. I was just like, I don't fucking know. I can't do it. I was throwing out guesses. Adams? Madison?
It'd be
Uh,
Jefferson, right?
it was Thomas Jefferson. But I'm like, I know I've been through this information so many fucking times.
I know.
And I just don't know. I
Of all the quizzes that we took during that bracket
Yeah.
that we were building, the president's one is the one that I have regrets about.
Yeah.
We should have gotten all of them. Like
We never will.
there's no reason to not. Well, maybe we'll take it again later.
We'll never know. My big like, okay, so going off of talking about that, like not knowing about history. I think the only problem with that. So I'm fascinated by history. I love history. I've got a
Yeah.
bad brain though, and things don't stick there like they used to. But I'll read a history book, not like a high school textbook. I'll read history books in my spare time. No, I'll get really into it, but it really, I don't know what it is about it, as opposed to like just reading a book. Where that'll stick with me. I remember the story and go back in my mind and go, yes, that's what happened. I have the hardest fucking time remembering any details of history. And I watch documentaries. I'll read books. Details don't stay. So my number one thing I want to be, it's only embarrassing because other people are very, very, very good with history and keeping these facts in their heads that it makes you feel bad. But what I want to say is, when it comes to history, broad strokes are fine. My point I want to make is exact dates. Who cares? Who needs exact dates?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what date Pearl Harbor happened. I should. I don't. Can I tell you what D-Day was? I can't.
No, I can't
Should be
either.
able to.
I feel like, and this goes back um to broad strokes, but I think I have an
For
idea
broad
of
folks.
the month that maybe some of those happened, but I'm gonna look.
December, I think, is D-Day.
See, I think December's Pearl Harbor.
Uh-oh. Well,
I was
would have been
gonna say
all
D-Day.
roughly around the same time.
I was gonna say D-Day June or July.
Oof. See, I'm busted.
I'm gonna look them both up right now. Let's both, before I look them up, let's
Yeah.
each put in a guess of the date each of these things
I
happened.
thinking that it's December because D-Day has D in it? I'm thinking D month.
Yeah,
D-Day?
December 25th, right? That's the D-Day.
But I'm also just like, same war. Probably all happened in the same month.
Yeah, I've seen enough movies to know that like most big events in life take place in short amounts of time. There's a ticking clock.
Oh my god.
Okay, so for as far as D-Day and
The
Pearl
attack on
Harbor,
Pearl Harbor.
what are our guesses? Let's do month, day, and year.
Don't make me do year. I don't know why that's year. It feels worse to me because I have read up on this shit. I watched Band of Brothers. I feel moderately informed about World War II, but if you're gonna ask me what dates, I don't fucking know. It's bad. It's so bad. I'm gonna embarrass myself putting something out there. Oh God. I don't even, when did the war start? It's in the 40s, 1942. That's
42 is also a year
that's singing in my brain.
plinking around in my brain. What I've realized now trying to guess is I don't know which event happened first.
I believe D-Day happened. D-Day happened first.
That's what I thought.
Because that was the beginning. Normandy. And then Pearl Harbor was later.
All right.
nearer
I've written down my guesses here.
Yeah, because that led to the atomic bomb. We just watched this in Oppenheimer.
I'm going to say, and you know what? This is, looking at my guesses now, I hate this.
I told you, it feels bad.
And the reason I hate this is, okay, so for D-Day, I've put July 12th, 1942.
Okay.
And then for Pearl Harbor, I've put December 7th, 1942. Now, you may have noticed that why I hate this guess is that I've just transposed, without realizing it, the number for the month and the number for the day and just switched them for each event.
You know, all we can do when we're podcasting like this is hope this is relatable and not embarrassing as fuck. But
another thing, if we want to do rule of threes here, this is not a date because I can't think of like another big thing, but I remember like we learned about it over and over again in school, but I still could not tell you a single thing other than the fact that it is a document. What the fuck the Magna Carta is. No clue. That has never stayed in my brain ever.
And that's a perfect example of something I learned in school, had a hard time remembering. As an adult, have looked it up. It's come up in books I've read. I also cannot confirm. If I think really hard, I might be able to get close. But I'm not going to, hey, I haven't gotten this far in podcasting by thinking really hard. But you spurred something in me, and I think you were close to something, but I think you're reversed. I'm sticking with December. I believe D-Day, December 8th, 1942. A day that will live in infamy. There's that Pearl Harbor. We're smart. Oh God, this is terrible. I gotta say,
you're gonna put August 12th, 1942.
The attack.
Flip the dates.
The attack on Pearl Harbor, which is not a funny thing. We're not laughing at that. These are very serious, solemn events. Well, yeah. Bad news. War's bad. Knock it off.
Knock it off, you guys.
The attack on Pearl Harbor.
Has anybody friggin' gone to, like, I don't know, the Gaza Strip and been like, hey guys, let's all be cool.
Knock it off.
Knock it off over here. Anybody tried that?
We're gonna say,
should we run for president?
Yes. God,
together as a team. not even president and vice president, but we want to do the job together.
We've thought about this a lot.
We're the first presidential duo.
That'd be great. We would be terrible. The worst two-headed president. I'm just throwing a number out there. You put April in my head earlier, so I am going to say the attack on Pearl Harbor happened in April. Here's the thing. Here's the problem with both of us. I think we're just as likely to accidentally guess the release date of the movie Pearl Harbor, which might have been the same day. I don't know. Obviously not in 1942, but it seems like maybe.
That does seem like something that a Michael Bay movie would be.
Yeah,
I saw that. To celebrate Pearl Harbor.
I saw it in theaters. It celebrated Pearl Harbor so hard. And also a weird love triangle. April. I'm just guessing my sister's birthday now. I'll go away from that. April 6th, 1943.
April 6th. I don't know if you're picking that date because
I don't know either.
That's the date of my wedding, or if that's
my Pearl Harbor.
All right. Well, let's kick things off.
Oh dear God!
Here with the release date of the 2001 film Pearl Harbor. Evan, would it surprise you to learn that came out May 25th?
Ooh.
2001.
Okay.
My parents' anniversary. They could have gone to see Pearl Harbor. However, the attack on Pearl Harbor, Evan,
Yes.
was not in May.
Damn. Was it in April?
It was in December
Ah.
on the 7th,
What?
but it was in 1941, so I was off by
Oh,
1 year.
interesting. Okay. I don't know shit.
D-Day
Yeah.
was in fact after Pearl Harbor
No shit.
by several years.
I don't know anything.
1944.
Wow.
June 6th of 1944.
What is happening?
It's, the excuse that I like to use is that we all have different areas of expertise, right?
Yes.
If we're watching Jeopardy, like my fiance studied history, so that was her major in college.
Yeah.
So I hope she's not been listening to this episode, because this might have given her the ick, as the kids say.
Just listen to one more episode before the wedding. Make sure.
But if we're watching Jeopardy together and history comes up, hey, that's all her, baby.
Yeah.
If it's like, could you name these Hanna-Barbera characters? So, hey, guess what? This is all, I'm going to sweep the category, baby.
Fred Flintstone diddly-diddly-diddling into the room.
I'm going to yabba-dabba do it.
You're going to yabba-dabba do it, baby. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I feel like I knew in my mind that Pearl Harbor was why we got into World War II.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which would make sense for it to be earlier.
Yeah.
I thought that they were much closer events to one another than essentially 3 years. But this is also something important. Even though we've learned it today, it's not going to stick in my brain.
No. Only credit I'm going to give myself, because I need anything. I need an ounce to cling on to. As I said, I was a day off. I obviously got the year wrong, but I said December 8th, 1942, and I was wrong because I was talking about D-Day. But
Yes.
I did then say a date that would live in infamy.
That's
FDR
true.
said that about Pearl Harbor. So I think it was in my head somewhere. Scrambled, and I had the dates completely wrong. I got in my own way like I always fucking do. I'm like, hey, Japan, Germany, I got the scallops. This is how I operate. Okay. Well, that felt terrible. Please let us know if that was relatable or you think less of us. I think the thing with, like, I know I'm not great at math, but I don't really give a shit. But I care about history. I do think it's fascinating and interesting, and it kills me that nothing sticks in my brain. Genuinely, right now. Right the fuck now. I'm not talking about later. All right. Well, you can't participate because you got them in front of me. I don't think I could. I can't tell you when D-Day was. This is the problem.
I have exited out of those
you close
tabs.
that tab? We're back.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I can get a lot closer, but
it's gone.
I know that it was it was June of 44, but I don't remember what the date was.
Right. All right, we're working together now. June. See, I've just got 4 in my head. My brain's just bad. I wanted to say June 14th. That doesn't feel right, though.
Let me pull it back up.
Oh, God. But we got
June 6th.
June 6th. Ugh.
Fucking 6/6/44.
And then the attack on Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941.
Correct.
All right. We talked about that enough. And that's maybe this will all help. And can I now tell you? Here's the thing: it's a thin line. Whether or not
Yeah.
right the fuck now, I can again. Can I still tell you when D-Day happened? I'm not at all positive. 6/6/44. That's what you said. June
Yes.
June 6th, 1944.
Yeah.
But that's how my brain works. That's not a guarantee. I'm like,
Yeah.
can you even qualify that as like being dumb? Like,
Is there
I don't like it.
is there something that you're like, oh, this is a very specific, like I mentioned, like, oh, I could probably, if there was a Sporkle quiz, and I'm going to look them up
Sure.
right now and see, but if there was a Sporkle quiz of like naming the uh like Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters, I could do very well. That information is just stuck in here,
Sure.
and it's going to block out
Yeah.
the what the Magna Carta did. It's going to block out
Yes.
um pretty much all of the timeline of World War II.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna, as no new information can come in because I know who Squiddly Diddly is. Okay, like that's where my brain is at right now.
Oh,
Do
good.
you have something that specific
Ooh.
for you? And we'll see if we can get these quizzes and redeem our knowledge, or we'll take the president's quiz again, because I feel I need to redeem myself on that president's quiz. I feel like we can get all 46.
Hmm. I don't know about that. I mean, I'm sure there's something that specific, but I can't think of one. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what that would be para mí, but it's probably music related. It's just like fucking pop culture, and that feels dumber than people who know a lot about history, and that sucks. But I'm like, I know a lot about the history of music. Anybody care about that? Somebody? Anybody? It's like so much of my knowledge is just like lists, like
Yeah.
bibliographies of people, filmographies of people, but that doesn't feel special. Am I not special?
Well, here, well,
That's a
you want to try and retake this president's quiz in order to celebrate President's Day? This will give you a chance to think about George Washington like you've always wanted.
I guess. I do have some other notes, real quick, if you
Yeah,
don't
go ahead.
mind. In the world of specifics in history, one that I've spent a weird amount of time in my life investigating. I became fascinated with this person. I read a giant book. I've watched multiple documentaries. That person is Richard Nixon. It's not because I agree with his politics. I think he was a bad, bad man. But he's a fascinating man. And but that's an even better example of like, and not even just Watergate, like his biography. And I can tell you right now, he grew up a Quaker, had a brother, had a mother. They both died. Had a very sad upbringing. Uh, and that's about that. It's just
Yeah.
like, doesn't matter. I can tell you some about Watergate. I know what the deal was, but I should
Yeah,
know
Forrest
more.
Gump turned him in.
Yeah, true. I should know more for how much, how interested I was in it and how much time I spent with it. Like, even being interested in it. Why? Just why? Why doesn't history stay in my brain the same way that just like, oh, I'm listening to an album I like. Let me look at the liner notes. That's the band. Those are the band members. Great. I'll never forget their names. I will never forget what date that album came out, even though it came out 50 years before I was born.
Yeah.
What is that? Why? I don't know. The only other thing I wanted to specifically bring up a show,
Yeah.
a cartoon.
Oh my God. Squiddly Diddly.
Squiddly Diddly. When I was growing up, I forget what day, Mondays or Tuesdays before school, which is, it's brilliant. And it's like I was getting school before my school, but it was hilarious. I think it was from the same people that made Animaniacs, made a show called Historia, or Hysteria with an I. But basically being like, hysteria, like it's hysterical, but it's about history. That show was funny as hell. I learned a lot of stuff from it, and it had a big old roly-poly fat baby as its mascot, rolling around the screen all the time. And that was great. My
Yeah,
sisters and I
Hysteria.
would gather around the television Monday or Tuesday mornings before school and learn. And that's nice. Recommend
Yeah,
it.
that is nice.
It's very nice.
The last thing that I want to bring up real quick before we get into this, try to name all the presidents again, quiz, is like, there's a big, especially over the last, probably always, but at least when I've, been an adult in the real world over the last 10 years or so, there's been a big, like, you gotta know your history so that you can, so that we avoid, the past mistakes of humanity, Great Depressions and wars and all of these things. So I feel that pressure to know things, but I don't know them. And then, like a couple years ago, I feel like everybody my age learned like that Juneteenth was a thing. And we were all like, what? Never heard of this part of history. Why? Like, I mean, and of course we know why, but but I think there's just like there's so much that I don't know, that I have to find different news places to kind of keep me up to date. Like Last Week Tonight and Late Night with Seth Meyers are both comedy news shows, but have done a pretty good job at explaining to me, an idiot, what is going on and what are examples from history of other things that that point to it, other signs, other facts and statistics. So I'm hoping that we can name all 46 presidents, because I don't want to walk away from this episode feeling completely stupid.
I'm afraid we're both going to walk away from this feeling completely stupid.
Okay. Are you ready, Evan?
I guess. Let's do this.
This is going to be a double trivia episode, because, of course, at the end of the episode, we will be continuing our trivia matchup.
And we already did,
because I also walked away from last episode's trivia feeling stupid.
But we got that, Pearl Harbor happened on June 6th,
I hope that's one of the questions.
D-Day.
Today.
D-Day happened on June 6th, 1944. And Pearl Harbor definitely happened on December 7th, 1941.
Yeah. I'm hopeful that one of those facts, or when the Michael Bay movie was released,
yes,
or something about Squiddly Diddly, I hope one of those facts comes up in our trivia matchup later today. But first, we got to take this quiz and see if we can remember the names of the 46 presidents.
Just again to place where my brain is at, where I can't remember any of that shit. I do, for anyone that knows what I'm talking about, and you do, I of course know all of the words to Hollywood Facts, the improvised song Andy Samberg did on Comedy Bang Bang, because they did it a bunch of times. And that, I first heard that like a decade ago. And I still know every single word. That's not a bad brain. It's just a stupid brain that chooses stupid shit.
It just likes stupid things.
It's just like stupid shit. All right. Like the presidents, because I'm going to get all these correct. Let's go.
Okay.
You always do the heavy lifting on the president's quiz.
We've got about 10 minutes here
Okay.
to get them all done. Let's just start calling them out, Evan.
All right. Joe Biden. Trump.
All right, we got him. Trump.
Obama.
Bush.
Bush.
Clinton.
Oh, no, I'm forgetting who was right before Bush. Reagan. Yeah, Reagan. Carter. Ford.
Nixon.
Kennedy. And Johnson in between. Johnson. Eisenhower.
This is impressive. You're going in reverse order. This is pretty impressive.
Some things. But now I'm Truman? Gotta be Truman.
Yeah. Wow, incredible.
33 to 44 Roosevelt. Yeah.
I'm impressed, Evan.
It's something. I might be out now.
All right. Going the opposite direction. We know it starts with Washington.
We know this.
Adams, Jefferson, Monroe next. Oh, no. Madison's in between Jefferson and Monroe. Okay. Now we do the quiz the way that I do quizzes, which is just
scattershot.
Any name that comes to your brain, just shout them out.
Grant. One we missed last time that I now know.
Harrison. Tyler and Taylor. Jackson. Garfield. Cleveland. Taft. Buchanan. Arthur.
He's doing
all right. We got 10 left at this point, Evan.
Beautiful mind.
Hoover and Wilson.
Yeah.
And Fillmore, right? Yeah, there he is.
Fillmore. Who was the... See, now I start getting into specifics. And this is what I fucking did last time. Because I know the names of one of those presidents in the 20s. Oh, yeah, died in office. Shit, I'm getting such fucking flashbacks to doing this last time. And
I know.
Over-focusing on who died in office in the 20s.
We also have 2 people who were assassinated in office.
Right.
That we've got to try and pull.
Damn it.
We have 7 presidents that we're missing. How about we put in Lincoln?
Or Lincoln.
Yeah. Lincoln and Van Buren.
Okay. Did we get Jackson? Andrew Jackson?
Did I put in Jackson?
Oh, you did.
I did.
I feel like it's
with 5 presidents left.
I feel like this is the
almost 6.5 minutes to get them.
Same area we had a hard time with last time. The middle presidents.
Yeah, the presidents that, sorry guys, did not make a huge impact.
Oh God, what's his name? Thinking Boardwalk Empire, Prohibition.
Steve Buscemi.
What's that president's name? Fuck. I can't think of it. Prohibition man. Any other... I felt good because I'm like, oh, we remembered a handful of the ones we didn't get last time. And now we're just stuck here. Boston Red Sox.
Big Papi? Was Big Papi president?
Yeah, look at my keyboard. Look at letters.
Yeah. Rutherford B. Hayes?
Rutherford.
No. Oh, yeah, he is. We got him. Man, I'm gonna be...
Yeah, this sucks.
we gotta pull this off here.
Gotta do it.
So there's Arthur Buchanan, Calvin Coolidge, right?
Coolidge, yes.
Okay.
Great.
So there's 3 people left. One of them died in office.
That's the one.
Another one was assassinated, and the other one was in the 1850s.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean this.
If this part doesn't add up to 10 minutes, it's because we were silent for minutes at a time.
Man, this blows. I thought for sure we were gonna pull this one off.
I knew we wouldn't. Harding.
Harding, good.
That's who I was trying to think of.
All right, that's the one who died in office.
Yes. That is Prohibition Man.
So, in between Grover Cleveland and Teddy Roosevelt, I mean, who did Teddy Roosevelt take over for? And who's in between Millard Fillmore and James Buchanan?
James Corden.
Let's try it.
Corden. Ah, fuck.
Didn't work.
Oh, that's right. No, he's just a shitty little bitch.
Yeah.
It's the same. I know I said this last time. Like, it feels real bad to forget someone that was assassinated.
Yeah. It is. I do think. Well, I'd have to go back and double check, of course, but I do think that we have done better than we did last time.
We've done better and earlier.
Yes.
So faster, better. Yeah, I think we missed like 4 or 5 last time. We're just down 2. We got this.
I'm just going to start typing in common last names here. Anything that starts with a D? Any D presidents?
President Donkson?
President Donkson. How do you spell that?
You know, Donkson. Donkson.
Kson. Unfortunately not.
It was worth a shot.
It was.
S presidents? President Shifty?
President Smith. President Shifty.
President Jabroni.
Yeah, let's try Jabroni.
We good. Yeah, you got Garfield and Cleveland because they're both cartoons.
That's how I remember them. I remember Taft because he was an absolute unit.
Polk because he's just short a dot.
Yeah.
I remembered Harrison because George Harrison. My brain is bad. My brain's bad. Turn of the century. 97 to 1901. Turn of the century president was assassinated in office.
Yep.
How is this possible that that's not like front of mind? One of the first names you come up with when you're thinking of presidents.
Yeah. Man,
oh man.
Brutal. Any other M names after Madison, Monroe?
Mortimer. 1901. 1897 to 1901. That's like the birth of cinema. They ever mention who was president at the time?
Who was president during the birth of cinema?
D.W. Griffith.
Yeah. Well, we've got less than a minute to go here. We got very close this time.
Reynolds. Worthing.
Yeah, President Ryan Reynolds.
Louis Pasteur. Amelia Earhart.
Yeah. What are there any? Man, I can't think of. I don't even know where to think.
I wasn't planning to feel this bad this morning. I often look forward to these records. This has been a real shot to my self-esteem. Gotta do good on this quizzle or whatever it's called.
10 seconds,
10
Evan.
seconds.
I thought I had it, but it's somebody we
QWERTY!
already typed out.
President QWERTY!
President Quibby? Oh. Franklin Pierce and William McKinley.
You bastard! All right, now I gotta remember that. Of course, there's a mountain that was named after the man.
Yeah, it's true.
President McKinley fucking came up on Jeopardy last night.
Oh my god.
Jesus. It's about Alaska. The whole thing about Alaska. The mountain used to be called. This mountain was named after a president, and they changed the name. It's Mount McKinley. Oof, that hurts.
That's that is rough.
We did pretty good.
I do believe we forgot Franklin Pierce last time as well.
I think 100%. And I'll have to think of David Hyde Pierce now.
Yeah.
David Hyde Pierce.
This is how our brains work.
This is it.
This is
what you get.
I'm going to think of Franklin the Turtle, and you're going to think of David Hyde Pierce. And next time, in a year, this is what we're going to take every President's Day to make sure we finally get it right.
I'm going to picture Kelsey Grammer sipping on a Bordeaux with Franklin the Turtle.
Yeah.
And we got it.
On top of a mountain.
On top of Mount fucking McKinley. Which now I can't think of what it's called now. It is funny because it was like, it was named after him. He'd never set foot in Alaska before. So at a certain point, they were just like, he just got something different. Fuck that guy. Happy President's Day. All right. Get this quizzle up. I'll find what it's called now because I forget. And that's going to.
All right. Here comes the quizzle, Evan. As a reminder.
Denali. Mount Denali.
You and I are competing, of course.
What did we say? To 100 points?
To 100 points. And of course.
5 points at a time.
Yeah. I currently have 10 points.
Okay. So I have 8.
You have 8 points.
Go.
Which is the only U.S. state to lie entirely above 1,000. Here's the problem. Is this meters? I think it's meters.
Seems like it. Miles?
Right? Okay. Yeah, I thought it was miles at first, but now looking at it together, it must be meters.
Regardless, which is also dumb brain because there's a big difference between miles and meters. But I'm like, no matter what, I think I know the answer.
We have Colorado, Arizona, Delaware, and Connecticut.
Yes.
Man, kind of, two different sections of the country. It's not like these are scattered across. It's like two up over here or 2 down here. Which one do you think it is? You seem very confident.
I want to let you answer first.
I have a guess. I just don't like it.
Okay.
But my guess is Colorado.
Colorado is,
and the reason that I feel that way is Denver is known as the Mile High City.
It's notoriously high elevation.
The only one I know it's not is Arizona. And that's because of the Grand Canyon. There's no way the bottom of the Grand Canyon is
if the
above
the
1,000
of the
meters.
Grand Canyon is above 1,000 meters. Arizona would be fucked.
Yeah, so I guess we're both guessing Colorado. And that's correct.
We're both right.
Okay. Go ahead, Evan.
How many balls are used in a game of croquet? 1, 4, 2, or 8? Now, I've played croquet before.
Does that mean you remember or no?
It's a complicated. I'm gonna have to sit back and think. You talk about croquet for a sec.
All right, I've never played croquet. I have only seen it in movies. Movies like Heathers.
Of course.
Movies like Alice in Wonderland, although they were playing with flamingos and
croquet
little
classics.
hedgehogs. Oh man. So I don't think it's one. Is my first instinct. I think one is incorrect. And it feels like it would have to be more than two if you're playing with other people. So I'm between 4 and 8. That's where I'm at thus far.
It's like 6.
Yeah.
Your answer's 6.
I'm going to write in the answer 6 and see if it's right.
Okay. I mean, I'm in the same spot. Here's the tough thing about doing these is I'm like, I don't want to give you more information than you already have.
Sure.
You know? It's competitive, but so I'll answer and then explain myself afterwards.
Okay.
I'm going to say 4. And I don't
Okay,
I don't
I'm
love
leaning
it.
towards 8.
Let's go.
So we'll answer differently.
But I think one of us is right.
Okay. And it was you.
So
explain yourself.
Explaining myself. You got a mallet, you got your ball, and then you got the ball you're trying to get somewhere, and you're hitting a ball with your mallet, and that ball hits another ball, kind of like in pool.
Right.
So every player has 2 balls they're working with, and to me it just felt like traditionally it would probably be a 2-person game. Otherwise, that's a lot of balls everywhere. Yeah, we had a croquet set when I was growing up. It was really fun. I like croquet. Suck it. Alice, Heather.
All right. Digitalis is a product obtained from which plant? The curcuma plant, foxglove, coniferous trees, or cassava?
I have no idea what this is, and yet I
Me neither.
have an answer that I feel good about for some reason. Something stuck out for me.
I'm between 2.
Okay.
I'll say I'm between foxglove and coniferous trees. But I also don't know what this is.
Same.
I could not tell you what any of these plants look like.
I'm full on.
But those are the 2 I'm in between.
I'm full on foxglove.
Okay.
So lock me in.
I feel like I think I'm gonna go foxglove too, and the reasoning that I'm abandoning coniferous trees is that just feels like a clunky answer.
Digitalis sounds so precise.
Digitalis from which plant? Oh, this comes from coniferous trees. Or this comes from foxglove.
Sure about that.
Say foxglove.
Hey.
All right, that's correct.
My weird confidence was correct. I don't know. That is something that's in my brain for some reason. I saw Digitalis and I'm like, that's foxglove. I don't know what either of those things are. Okay, well, which was the first play written by Shakespeare? Othello, Romeo and Juliet, Henry VI, or A Midsummer Night's Dream? Now, does this mean the first ever play he wrote, or the first of these? Which clearly means I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea either. I don't think it's Romeo and Juliet. I'm leaning towards Henry VI.
Yeah.
But not for any real reason. So
this is one of those categories where it's like, I'm familiar with the material.
Sure. So if it had listed plays and was like, which one did William Shakespeare write? I'd be able to tell you any of these 4 were
bibliographies.
Were the penned by the immortal bard. Or bored, as I say in the
audience. But anyway, knowing like, oh yeah, I know these materials. I can look at every one of them and hear like a teacher in my head going, that was the first play Shakespeare ever wrote. So I think I'm just completely out on a limb. I'm feeling in between all 4 of these. My last instinct was I'm between Othello and A Midsummer Night's Dream. my initial instinct was your answer, Henry VI. But then my other answer is Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
I'm going to say A Midsummer
Or
Night's
it's
Dream.
between Othello and A Midsummer Night's Dream. You're going with A Midsummer Night's Dream?
Yes.
Okay.
Damn it.
I was correct.
I knew it.
I've tied it back up. We're each at 3. And this is the last question here, Evan.
Is it mine?
No, I guess not. Agamano or Agamano, I don't know, is the name given to deep fried food in which country? Japan, Spain, Greece, or Italy?
Okay. I'm going to say Japan.
Interesting. Japan is the only one that's the first one I've ruled out.
Yeah.
And I think I'm between Greece and Italy.
That's initially what I was between. But no, I'm landed in Japan.
I'm going to... Oh, God. I think it's wrong, but I'm going to go with Italy.
Yes!
Oh, Evan, correct!
And my, obviously, mono felt Japanese, as in a kimono. But I realized...
Of course. As in a kimono.
Same language. But I realized, like, you don't see a lot of deep fried Japanese food over here in the States, which has made me go like, I bet they do deep fried food, but we don't know what it's called. So that was thrilling. Yeah. I got one closer.
Yes, the score is now 13-12.
I'm creeping on you.
You are.
I'm creeping on you.
And I don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an episode, of course, where we've felt dumb, but I hope that you, the listener, were able to feel smart.
Or validated in your idiocy.
And if you want to feel smart again, you can listen to past episodes or future episodes. I think as Evan and I grow older, we only grow dumber. So look forward to feeling even smarter than us in the future. You can find this podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pocket Casts, HowDoWeHuman.com. Anywhere that you get your podcasts, you can find us and rate and review and subscribe and follow and all of those wonderful things. You can also check us out on Instagram at HowDoWeHuman.
Oh, we got that handle.
You can follow us on Facebook at HowDoWeHuman.
I don't think you're ready for that handle.
Check us out on YouTube. You can see our faces there for the entire episode length. That's at HowDoWeHuman.
Handle shot first.
Or you can send us an email to howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
The best part of that handle is that it's an email.
All right, and with that,
we did this in the opposite order.
Bid you all farewell.
We have been doing that and then taking the quiz.
But now we were in a quizzing mood,
We're already feeling dumb.
Our hot streak. We needed to keep it going.
All right. Adieu it is.
I hope that you all spend today, now that you've left or are about to leave us, I hope you spend it thinking about George Washington.
Mm-hmm. Thinking about June 6th, 1941.
No.
44. Damn. 6644. And December 7th, 1941.
Do you remember when the Michael Bay movie Pearl Harbor was released? We only mentioned it once, but will Evan be able to pull it off?
March 14th, 2001.
Incorrect. Damn. May 25th, 2001.
I was so close.
No. Okay, bye.
Bye. No.